discovered this because when this tree is planted, they fertilize it, they water it. And there's evidently a garden. They're planted side by side because once these grow later on in life, and you'll see in a second, they shoot up. And if you go on Google and you Google Chinese bamboo trees, some of the most beautiful pictures and beautiful trees. One of my director of communications that works for me, Josh, just spent a month in China last month on a missions trip, and he said he actually saw them. And he said there's some of the most beautiful trees. They grow in some of the most beautiful patterns that he's seen. So he's visibly been able to see them. But if you Google it, you'll see that they're just so tall, so high, so pretty, so amazing. They're used for so many different things. The actual raw elements of this tree and materials used for so many things. But they grow close together and they're very tight knit. And there's just so many different analogies we can draw and stories we can draw to it. But I want to talk to you about how they start out. They plant these seeds, they plant these trees, and they water them and they fertilize them. And there's nothing that happens. And there's nothing, they don't see anything. There's nothing on the outward appearance of this tree that can be seen with the eye. So frustration can set in. I would imagine the first people that grew these trees once upon a time, or that really began to grow these trees, probably frustration set in because they grew this tree with no avail. They didn't see any fruit or any evidence that their efforts were producing something positive. And I don't know about you, but I can relate to that in my career. I can relate to that in my life, where many times I have sown, I have invested, I have spent countless hours tirelessly investing into my career over the last 2 decades of my career. And there's been certain times where I could look and I visibly did not see the fruit or the evidence of my efforts, and frustration are set in. And if we're not careful, we're tree, or we will uproot or pull out or abandon the very process because we aren't seeing the evidence in our timetable. But I want to encourage you, when you look at the Chinese bamboo tree, you don't see that evidence. And maybe you're out in your garden, maybe you're out in your field of life, maybe you're out investing in your job, and maybe your husband, your wife, your neighbor, your friends, your co-workers, people that are around you, your Facebook friends, your Twitter followers, whatever, people that are around you that influence you or you hang out with, and they're saying, hey, how's it going on the job? And you're saying, and you can't even bear to muster up the strength to tell them, hey, it's going okay. It's okay. It's things are coming around, because deep in your heart, they're not. And there's that person looking at you while you're outside on day 60, day 90, day 30, 6 months into it. There you are watering your Chinese bamboo tree, and it's you watering dirt to the naked eye. There you are out there watering nothing. You can't see it. Literally, the Chinese bamboo tree, you water it and you fertilize it, and for months upon months, nothing happens. Nothing happens. To the naked eye, you're just watering dirt. That's what happens with the Chinese bamboo tree. And just when it seems like nothing's going to happen with regards to this tree, something will sprout out. And just when you think, and then in my life over and over, every single time I've gotten to the place where I felt like nothing was going to happen, where I realized, where I just almost got to the place where I couldn't handle anymore. And I'm like, you know what? This is not, I need to abandon this because nothing's going to come up of this. This is fruitless. I want to challenge you. When you think something is fruitless, I want you to analyze it. I want you to analyze it. Don't you judge the fruit of something or the future fruit of something by what the naysayers around you are saying. What people who are trying to challenge you to look a little harder. I want to challenge you to wait a little longer, because the deal is this: the Chinese bamboo tree, at the very moment when it looks like the tree is not going to produce anything, at the very second that this tree looks like it's not going to produce anything, up sprouts evidence of fruit. Up sprouts evidence of the months of fertilization. Up sprouts evidence of the months of watering. Up sprouts evidence of the months of your frustration, your sweat, your labor, your toil, your tears. Man, I'm talking about literally every bit of stress, every bit of anxiety, every bit of effort that you put into it. Up sprouts evidence of where you've been. And here's I'm telling you right now, listen, if you want to call it preaching, let's call it preaching. But listen, if you want to know why I'm so fired up, because if you study the Chinese bamboo tree, 6 months it does nothing. But listen to this. Hear me. The moment it sprouts, for a period of weeks upon weeks, every day, for a period of weeks, every day, not every week, not every month, every day for a period of weeks, the Chinese bamboo tree will grow 2 feet per day. Come on, man. If that doesn't fire you up, listen, it'll grow 2 feet per day, every day, 7 days a week. And those trees, if you look at it, some of them are over 100 feet tall. Some of the most beautiful, some of the most utilized trees. Why? Because someone didn't give up on the Chinese bamboo tree. I'm going to tell you, it may not look like much. What's up, Classic Toyota in Tyler, Texas? Listen, it may not look like much. It may not look like what you're doing is going to have any fruit. It may not look like what you're doing is going to ever bear any evidence or resemblance of productivity. But I'm here to tell you, if you don't give up, your work is not in vain. If you don't give up, your message is not in vain. I'm going to tell you that if you're talking to somebody right now who has a vision on the inside of them that's bigger than you are, it's bigger than where you've been, it's bigger than where you're going, and it's bigger than what you're seeing right now. And I'm going to tell you that if you continue to water and you continue to fertilize and you don't give up and you hold on, then you're going to see the evidence spring through the ground. And then if you continue to water and continue to fertilize, I'm believing that exponential growth is going to come at the rate of 2 feet per day, every day, which means that you're going to get there faster than you think you will. You're going to get there faster than you think you can. Because the rate you're going to grow tomorrow is not based on the rate you're growing today. The rate you're going to grow tomorrow, at the speed and the rate that you're going to grow tomorrow, is not based on the evidence that you're seeing right now. I'm going to tell you that you hold on. I'm going to tell you that you keep going and that you don't let go. You don't break down at your breaking point. You don't break out at your breaking point. You break through at your breaking point. I want to encourage you to not give up, because the Chinese bamboo tree is here today because somebody didn't reach into the ground out of frustration, grab it by the very root, and pull it up out of the ground prematurely. So I'm going to encourage you because you're not doing this in vain. You got what it takes. You've got the right message. You've got the right plan. You've got the right product. Listen, somebody that has that business idea, you got the right idea. You got the right idea. They told Walt Disney he was an idiot. Colonel Sanders couldn't get a loan from the bank that he was part of, and he couldn't get a loan from 3 other banks. But he's got the best chicken in the world, right? They told Walt Disney that he wasn't creative enough. How foolish was that? I'm going to tell you that you got the right idea. You got the right message. You just got to hold on. You just have to wait a little longer. Man, hopefully I encourage somebody, because you know what? I need to hear that myself sometime, because I lose sight of the fact that what I'm doing is not in vain. Who I'm pouring into is not in vain. And you know what? If I give up too early, I can be giving up on the next Walt Disney. I can be giving up on the next Colonel Sanders. I can be giving up on the next Grant Cardone. I can be giving up on the next great one. And I want to challenge you to not give up. Don't stop. Keep going. Water it. Fertilize it every day. You do your part, and then the tree will do its part. Law of sowing and reaping will do its part. You sow, you'll reap. You don't have to worry about doing that. Your job is to water. Even the Bible says that. Your Bible says you water and God gives the increase. You water. What's up, Janice? You water and God gives the increase. I'm going to encourage you. You water. You do your part. You water. You fertilize. You train. You put in. You invest. You do your part. Don't give up. Don't let your emotions be jacked up every single day. When I was building this company, we'll do $12 million this year. When I was building this company, my first paycheck over a decade and a half ago, my first paycheck was about $100. And you know what? I thought about six of those into it. I left a career where I was making really good money, worked back then, working for a company. It's not good money today. And I thought about giving up multiple times. Why? Because I wasn't seeing the fruit of it, man. I wasn't seeing the fruit. I'm like, you're kidding me? I worked this hard. I own the company. I can't go get a paycheck from somebody. I am the somebody. You're telling me that $100 is all I get? My wife, man, was like, what are we doing? And about 6 of those into it, when you can't even pay attention, much less your bills. You do that about 6 weeks in a row, then all of a sudden you quickly begin to question, hey, is what I'm doing what I need to be doing? Did I have indigestion when I thought that I had an idea? Was that heartburn, or was that really a vision that I had? Like, hey, I can plant this seed and do this. But you know what? I didn't give up. I've had many challenges since then, but 50 employees later, man, I've seen countless people that make more than an hour that work for me, that make more an hour that work for me than I made many weeks in the beginning. I want to challenge you not to give up. Even today, it doesn't get any easier, just your challenges are different and harder. But I'm going to tell you, it doesn't get any easier, but you know what? I got to even look and say, hey, you know what? Do I give up on this particular investment? Do I give up on this particular person? And my answer is no. I'm going to pour into them. I'm going to keep fertilizing. I'm going to keep training. I'm going to keep watering. And I'm going to believe for the increase. All right. Hope you guys have a good night. Go spend some time with your family. And thank you very much, guys. I'll see you this week.